morning and welcome to VETS TV. I'm Jared Levinson along with my co-host Bill Uren. This morning we're coming to you from the Talbot County Veterans Appreciation Day celebration, the 5th annual such event here in Talbot County, and we're very proud to be broadcasting from this important event, which is coming to you from the VFW Hall, post 5118 here in Easton. This morning, Bill and I will be talking with some folks here who are attending this event, and Bill's going to tell you a little bit more about those folks and this event.
Yeah, we have a number of people here from different organizations, and we're going to try to interview some of the people from those organizations that are here to help veterans. For example, there's people from the Maryland Veterans Group, which is supported by taxpayers and the state. There are other groups like the VFW here and other organizations like even Talbot Transportation, which is going to help us because they help veterans get to hospitals or to whatever they need, along with helping regular people, non-veterans, to do transportation. So there's a large group of people who help veterans and help other people that were here, and we're going to try to interview them so that you can get a sense of some of the help that's available in the community.
And now we're going to begin the process of going around and interviewing some of the folks here to give you some insight into the services and programs that are available for veterans, and also to talk with some veterans and their families to find out about their experiences as well. So stay tuned for some more interesting conversation discussion right here on VETS TV on MCTV Channel 15 in Easton, Maryland. Thank you for watching.
I have my child bride here, Marie. Miss Marie has got her T-shirt on here, and she's going to tell you a little bit about families in the military. And one of the things that we've never talked much about on VETS TV is the role of the family, which is very important because most veterans have a family of some sort, either a wife or their parents and their children, and they all participate when the veteran is away. I was raised in World War II, and I can remember almost every household had a flag hung on their window because we had millions of people under arms, and they all had that. And we have, Blue Star mothers and all the rest of it. So, Miss Marie, why don't you tell us a little bit about how this program got started here and what your involvement is, and show us your bunny here.
Well, I have to show off my clothes first because that's why I got invited here, because I'm wearing what I think is the coolest T-shirt of all, the Rolling Thunder, 1993 vintage. You see the back. And Bill and I actually came to Washington for a military reunion. We do a lot of Marine Corps reunions because that's part of being the family, and part of being in the Marine Corps family is that you get together a lot because these guys really bond and the families bond. And we came, and part of that reunion was the Rolling Thunder, and we were there with our very close friend who served in Vietnam with Bill, and ended up, he was telling me I am not a person who really kind of hangs out with motorcycle guys. And I always remember Don's quote, who said, there are a lot of wannabe bad guys who ride motorcycles. Look how expensive they are, And I watch these guys in their really bad-looking outfits get off their motorcycles and pick up their trash and walk it over to the trash can. So I thought Don was probably right. There were a lot of gentlemen who were riding motorcycles that day. But anyway, I have a cool T-shirt. So.
And we were actually at the wall, the Vietnam Wall that day, and we walked out of the wall, and the Rolling Thunder came by. And I'll tell you one thing about motorcycle people, they're very loyal to Harley Davidson. There was hardly another motorcycle in the parade except the Harleys. So, right. But they were really interesting guys, and many of them were Vietnam veterans, and many of them had flags for
POWs was the big
right for the POWs and so forth at that particular time. But it was very interesting to see all these people who, like Marie said, many of them were wannabe bad guys. And probably lawyers in their regular time, regular
You can
job.
afford a Harley, right?
Lawyers and doctors and Indian chiefs, that's what they were. So.
And so you guys asked me to show off my other memorabilia cool outfit here, and this is a Marine Corps emblem, which actually is a bunny. I happen to collect bunnies, but this belonged to my mom, was given to her by my dad, who was also a Marine. So I grew up in the Marine Corps, and as a child, I didn't like it a whole lot. I went to 3 different high schools. I didn't think I wanted to continue to be moving around my whole life. I always thought I wanted to have a home someplace. And then I met Bill, and he was already part of the Marine Corps, but not going to stay in. He was going to teach history, so that was our goal. We got married, and he wasn't going to stay in. And then all of a sudden, you could see it sort of gradually change. Both of us loved the military life, and so he changed his mind, applied for a regular commission, and stayed in and served. And that's part of the bonding of a family, is that it's the whole family works together if you're in the military. The wife is often left. She's in charge of everybody. And if you're a Navy wife, you're in charge for 3 months, and your husband comes back, and then he's in charge, and then he goes again. And so, so that I thought was always harder than being a Marine wife, where maybe for a year they serve unaccompanied. And these were the days when there wasn't any email or Skype. You waited for letters, and you hoped you got a letter. And every day we used to write. So that. But it's a very strong bond. It's a commitment on the part of the family to work with it together, right?
Yes, right.
Right.
Speaking of all that experience, Marie, perhaps you could share a little bit of your insight, having grown up as a child in the military and then having been a military spouse. What good advice would you give, key points that you would want other military families, both children and spouses, male or female in today's military, to think about?
And today's military is so different because there are these connections you can continue, but I think our philosophy was always that you looked forward to the next base. That was the only way to get past the constant moves, which I thought was the hardest. That you were always being transferred. You'd get settled in, you'd like your school, it's time to move again. But you always sort of thought, okay, it's the summer at the pool, summer at the library, and then you're going to meet more really great people. And it's the people that you meet along the way, I think, that make the difference. And then if you're lucky enough to be stationed near a military base, then you find your friends that you knew before, which is always good. So it's a tricky life, and the women have to be very independent. They have to be able to handle the whole family on their own with the kids. Your husband's not coming home at 5 o'clock to help you. Talking. And so that, and that you end up with, I think, a lot of marriages that are equal partners that have to have 2 strong people. And I've been connected here with the Mental Health Association for a long time. It was a board I got involved in almost when we first came here. I was involved with a fundraiser that was connected to them. And, it's an interesting board because there's a lot of stigma to mental health, to issues with mental health, and yet everybody has them in their family. When you look and see, and to be able to get the education and the information, like the information that you guys are getting out to these families and to the vets, is where to go for help, because we all need it. And they can offer it. They're a clearinghouse for information, just like your TV
And
show.
not to be ashamed to ask for
That's
help.
exactly right, and that's the only. And if you don't share it, it's one of those, that stigma thing is really unusual because it's not anything we forget. It's not anything anybody did that deserves this. It's just there for the grace of God is everybody that has a mental illness. Could be me, it could be
I
any
think
of us.
that's a very important point that Marie makes, and we need to take a short break right now, and we'll be back with more VETS TV on MCTV, Channel 15 in Eastern Maryland. Thank you.